right, it is Tuesday, I think November 6th. It's a pretty overcast day. I think we're going to be in the 50s today, maybe low 50s. Right now it's probably about 48. And we are parked in the Bison Way trailhead parking. As you can see, they've got restrooms right over there. And the trailhead for Bison Way, Trail 210 here in Red River Gorge, is right over there. We are going to actually try to find the express route to the Cloud Splitter. Now, to get to this route, there are multiple ways to get to Cloud Splitter, but it is an unofficial trail, so it's not a trail that's maintained by the Red River Gorge Park Service here. It's pretty well known, but they don't maintain it, so they don't put it on their normal published maps. But we're going to take the express route, which would cut what would normally be several miles of hiking to get up there to under 1 mile. Now, that's going to require that we do about 0.6 of a mile here on the road. This is Kentucky 715. So we're going to take you along, see if we can find this place, and hopefully we can get the drone up in the air. It's not necessarily ideal conditions, but I would say 60% of the leaves are down, so at least from that standpoint we should see some cool rock formations from the air. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out, and hopefully there won't be a crowd up on Cloud Splitter, even though it is an unpublished trail. As I said, it's pretty well known, but this being a Tuesday in November, even though it's early November, hopefully won't be crowded, and we'll see what we can see. So let's go. They do now have this parking right here, actually. And I think there used to be, in some of the videos I've seen just recently, some posts right along here. And those posts are no longer here, but they have expanded this little cutout. So I think I'm looking at the trailhead right now over here to the left. Actually to the right. So I think this little tree stump situation here might be the trail I'm looking for. Now, I don't feel like I've walked 0.6 of a mile, so I'm not completely certain if this is it, but we shall see. All right, I'm only about 0.2 in from the trailhead, and this is what I'm looking at. I don't recall seeing anybody else do this on their particular route, but this is clearly a route, and I'm not sure if they just didn't record this part or what. So I guess we're going to take our chances because I didn't see an alternative. So we'll see what we can see. All right, so I still don't really have answers here. The uphill trail sort of terminated at the base of this rock cliff here, and there are little paths going left and right, and also straight ahead. But straight ahead is that. I might try this path first just to see. And we will see where we end up. But this, in any case, is extremely cool. Definitely want to watch your footing though. The drop is not substantial at this point. So that's encouraging. But look at these cool little arches, little windows. All right, so far I suspect that I am documenting routes not to take, but I am going to give this little crevice a shot. It doesn't, I mean, it's daunting. Let me turn around here. It's daunting, but not like impossibly so. I just don't know where it comes out. So I will take a crack at that, and we will see. If this doesn't work, pretty much my only option is to head back down and see if I can find the actual trailhead I thought I was looking for. But even if this doesn't go anywhere, it is super damn cool. That is for sure. All right, made it to the top of this little crevice and it opens up. Very cool. Who knows where it leads, but that is part of the fun, isn't it? Let's find out. Looking promising. Almost like a little natural staircase up here. Wow. After a very short distance here, since scrambling up that little rock stair, there is a junction, left and right. We are going to go left, which goes uphill in the direction of Cloud Splitter, but I'm still not extremely hopeful. Well, we're getting somewhere. Obviously that tree is a well-worn climbing aid, so let's follow that. You can also see how well-worn the rock is there. So a lot of people have been this way. Wherever it leads, let's do it. Well, we're up on a ridge. I'm not sure which ridge, but I really suspect it's not the one I was aiming for. So the path kind of continues. I do believe Cloud Splitter would be in this direction. So, at the risk of wasting my time, I will keep going this way. Tell you what, the view from up here is pretty spectacular. Even if this isn't Cloud Splitter proper. Now that we're walking on fairly level ground, I can breathe again. Man, that first 1 or 2/10 of a mile was like at about a 45-degree incline. It was pretty brutal uphill. But once your heart settles down, it's pretty magnificent. Wow. This, speaking of magnificent, man. Well, if all else fails, can definitely get some magnificent drone footage from here. That's for sure. Let's carry on. Alright, we are out of Ridgetop Trail here. Kind of drops off right there. Not severely, but you can see the trail continues out that way. So we're going to make our way down here and continue in that direction. Alright, so check this out. I'm not sure what the name of this arch is. I'll try to find out and pop it up in the captions. But it's very cool. So, this is super slick. My own little private arch. I did get my GPS working, so at least I know where I am. I am not on the trail that I was hoping to be on, but at least I know where I am and I can make my way over. So I'm pretty sure there's still a path to Cloud Splitter from where I am, so I'm going to continue in that direction. In fact, I think there's a much, based on my understanding of this area, I think there's a much more dramatic arch. Maybe I think it's called the Indian Arch, perhaps. Again, I'll put it in the caption when I get there, but it's much bigger than this. It headed that way, so hopefully I'll see that here shortly. Let's continue on. So as you can see behind me, we're back on the Sheltawee Trace Trail, and we're at a little corner, so a little U-turn, right? So you can go to the left or right here. Now if I go down toward the right, that should take me right down to the Indian Arch. So I hadn't intended to hit that one today, but since I find myself here, why not, you know? So it's right there, so we'll go check that out. And then we'll come back and we'll head out on the slog all the way over to Cloud Splitter and see if we can still get that in today. Hopefully the weather holds out, but it actually turned into Really quite a nice morning considering the fact that I drove through about 90 miles of pretty much constant rain to get here. So it's looking pretty good right now. Let's go check out the arch. I think this may be it. Oh yeah. Little staircase. But check it out. Very cool. This was definitely worth seeing. Kind of glad I got sidetracked. Now watch your step. Man, the way water and wind shapes the sandstone really is amazing to me. All these cool different little shapes, you know, graffiti aside, but super neat. Like that. Like, how exactly did that happen? And then look at the curvature of this little layer here. Maybe it's not so much a curvature as a collapse of a piece of rock strata, but anyway, very cool. All right, we are back on the Shelter We Trace trail after that quick, cool pit stop at the Indian Arch. And I mean, from that little juncture, which is right back there, I mean, it's literally only 50 yards or so. But if you're following the Shelter We Trace trail, when you pass the Indian Arch, be aware there's a hairpin turn right there. I just passed a couple who actually had gotten turned around because they didn't realize that if you go straight, you're no longer on Shelter We Trace. So just watch out for that little pitfall. All right. I've always found these interesting. You see how the rock kind of twists and turns in these layers. Check this guy out. That tree rocks. Slowly, I'm making my way around the sort of the outside or the far side of the cloud splitter rock table. It's the opposite side where you normally would approach the ascent for cloud splitter. So we'll be making our way around and hopefully find the trail where I had intended to come up on that dumps us out onto Shelter We Trace, and then I'll be able to point all that out and sort of reverse engineer this path on my way back out. That's the plan. And I'll tell you, when it's been a while since you've been out and you're just a little bit stir crazy with a case of cabin fever, I mean, what better time to get out once the leaves have started to fall and you can really appreciate all the sensory experience of fall. You know, this, not just the smells, but the sounds and the crunch of the leaves, and how still everything is once you stop. And all I can hear is a little bit of wind rustling. It's very still, and a distant plane in the air. But hiking in the fall is really a feast for the senses, you know, not to mention the colors, although we're a little past that time. But being partially colorblind, a lot of that visual splendor is lost on me anyway. So, but I'm really having a good time out here, I gotta say. Happy to be alive. This is kind of cool. I thought it went down a little further than it actually does, but kind of neat. A little holly bush right next to it. Very festive. All right, I think I found the feeder trail. I need to check it on the trail project. or hiking project app. But there's clearly a path that goes down here. And there's a large rock here that would be to your left as you're coming up that little trail. So I'm pretty sure that's the path back down that we're going to follow. So I will actually mark this on the map just to confirm. All right, it is 12:14. I started just over 2 hours ago. So from where I am right now, it should have only taken me maybe 15 minutes. Well, not including the road hike part, but from the road up to the trail, maybe 15 minutes. So instead, it's taken me 2 hours and 10 minutes. So that's how much of a detour I actually took. So this clearly was not the express route that I had imagined it was going to be. But that was my fault. Turned on the wrong trail, but we will figure out the correct trail on the way back and make sure that we point that out for you guys so you don't make the same mistake. All right, how's this for a well-worn slash well-eroded trail? By the way, we are officially on the spur trail going up to the ascent to Cloud Splitter. I just consulted the hiking project app and we are no longer on Shelter We Trace. So this would explain the rapid ascent. Well, we got another one of these. So it's good news though. Means we're almost there. You can see the edge of the cliff over there. Pretty good drop off on the left. You also see that we're not really anywhere near the top just yet. It's all relative, I suppose. This rope actually looks like it's in pretty good shape if you want to go this way. Not sure if I want to. But there's a pretty good scramble down that way that you can get up. I think I am going to try, since I'm here by myself, go around to the right. And apparently there's a somewhat less of a scramble. We'll find out. This is what I'm looking at as my alternate. The rope is starting to look a little better. I may consider the rope, actually. All right, well, I made it. I ended up taking the rope, after all. It really seemed like, ironically or unbelievably, the least precarious of the three options. Although a person I just passed said that there's blue rope, which is the one I came up on, and there's also an orange rope, which is a little further down to the left of the blue rope. And I'm told, at least when you're going down, the orange rope is the better option. So I will heed that advice. Check out the orange rope. But let's take a look around here. Check out this view. The reputation of Cloud Splitter is well deserved. This is staggering. Look at that little bonsai. This for sure, right here, will make a ideal drone launch and landing site. But before we do that, let's go ahead and explore this top a little further. You know, Haystack Rock, Oxshire Ridge, Hanson's Point. These are all just tremendous views of the gorge. But having been to all of those, I can honestly say this one takes the cake. As amazing as those other sites are, this is really fantastic. This overlooks the Red River right down there. So, this is pretty spectacular. I think you would agree. So, get a quick bite to eat and then let's do some drones. All right. The lunch of champions. It is what it is. So that was pretty cool. right, it has been amazing. I think, got some good drone footage. We're starting to lose some daylight. It's only 1:30, so, but yeah, the clouds are moving in. We could get some rain. I definitely don't want to be up on these slippery sandstone rocks, trying to get down a pretty precarious little descent on wet rocks. So I think I've had enough fun up here for one afternoon, and certainly kind of a quick trip, but man, worth every second. Highly recommend it. All right, let's get off this rock. So right there is the entrance to the cave split, where you can make your way back to that little outcropping. It's pretty cool. Actually follows this whole thing. You can see, like even over there, that goes all the way down and eventually kicks you out onto a little overlooked ledge. I am out of time, so I don't have time to do that scramble. Plus I'm by myself, so not really advisable. I have stowed the GoPro because I'm going to need both hands and both feet coming down this little rock face here. And I'm going to do the orange rope descent. I can easily tuck the camera or the phone away, so just thought I would capture this last bit here since I have the GoPro stowed for this last descent. So there's the orange rope right there. Right there. So we're going to take that down. That's got little actual handles. So it's still, as you can see, not for the faint of heart, but those handles should make it tremendously easier. So I'm going to go down backwards that way. We'll see how it goes. See you at the bottom, hopefully in one piece. All right, now that I'm down the most sketchy part, yeah, coming down the orange rope, I think what makes the orange rope easier is that it's got actual loops on the rope that you can really get your, get a good handle on, rather than just knots like is on the blue rope. So other than that, the ascents and the descents are pretty much the same in terms of difficulty, but the orange rope loops do work a little bit better. So now I just gotta take it easy getting out of here, not twist the knee, and a few more little rock scrambles to deal with, but nothing like what I just dealt with, so should be a piece of cake. Nice little flat campsite there, if you were so inclined. It is 1:40, by the way, so we shall see how long it takes to get out to the main road from here. So we'll track that. Once I get past these rock scrambles, should make pretty good time, and we'll get out of here. And this time I'll show you the route I intended to take. So should shave a couple miles off the one I just did. Anyway, so this is the spur trail junction. This is Sheltawee Trace going back down this way and back down this way. You can see the white diamond there. That's the trailblaze for Sheltawee. So if you could look and see here. In fact, here's a good indicator. Right here on this tree, somebody mercilessly carved a CS and an arrow that way. So cloud splitter that way. So that's a pretty good visual indicator. All right, so I think we found the feeder trail back down to 715. This is the one that is not marked unofficial, so you can see the diamond on that tree over there for the Sheltawee Trace Trail. We're gonna go this way, which is the way I should have come up to begin with. And then we'll see where this comes out, and then I'll be able to show you for sure which way you need to come up to avoid the extra couple miles that I took. Which I have to say, we're not a waste of time. It was worth it. The scenery was amazing. I had the time, so yeah, if you end up coming up the wrong way, just make sure you have your GPS, get back on track, hike the extra couple of miles. It's still a good day. Unfortunately, I just came down this way, but if you were coming up this way, that's what you'd be dealing with. Not too bad. This is cool. Here's some water running over here. A little bit of a natural spring. Oh, neat. Kind of drops into a little crevice here. Wow, and just like that, there's the road. So while this little feeder trail is certainly giving you a lot of elevation gain in a very short period of time, it is much shorter than the one that I took. And I think I would much rather have come up this one than the one that I actually came up. This will get your heart rate up coming up this hill, I'm sure, but very doable. And it dumps you right out onto that Shelterwee Trace trail right where you need to be in a very short period of time. We're talking 2/10 of a mile, maybe quarter of a mile max from the road. This is not bad. So those posts are there, as you can see. Little walk wall, and there's a ravine right here. And there's a little rock right there on the trail as a cue. And that's what I was looking for on the other trail and didn't see it. So now I know. Now this berm is the closest one to the little hidden trailhead, but as you can see, it does say emergency vehicles only, so you'll probably get a ticket from the Park Service. Try to park here. So we are about, I would guess, quarter of a mile from the trailhead and that little parking sign right there. So there is a little parking berm here that would accommodate, say, 4 cars if people aren't being selfish and just hogging up the whole thing. That would reduce your 0.6 mile walk from parking to the trailhead to about a quarter mile. You know, even this little road hike is still pretty cool. The scenery is outstanding, especially when the trees are in winter mode. You can see more of the ground. It's good stuff. All right, so this would be the second closest parking. So it's where you get the Glady Visitor Center quarter mile sign. So we're really not that far now from the Bison Way trailhead parking. So if the first one is filled up, the one immediately after the authorized vehicle berm, then this guy here with the split rail fence around it is your next best choice. Yeah, so this is the trail that I scrambled up, mistakenly thinking it was the one I was looking for. So it doesn't look all that different than the one I was actually trying to find. That is actually about 0.4 of a mile further down the road. But if you want to add a scenic extra couple of miles, then there you go. All right, so how would I rate this hike? Well, I rate it on difficulty on a scale of 1 to 10. Without the final ascent up the rope, I would give it a 7. So it's moderately difficult just because of the rapid elevation gain in a very short period of time. But when you add on that little ascent part at the end, that, if you're not an actual trained climber, a technical climber, that rates at least a 9 in my book. Certainly not something that you want to bring dogs on or young children for sure. So you need to be in reasonably good health, have a nice, strong, steady grip, and unlike what I did today, probably not ideal to come alone. You should probably come with somebody just in case you get into some trouble, because it is not without some risk. And that is probably why the Park Service does not promote this trail. So Anyway, thanks for joining me. If you like these kind of videos, feel free to hit the subscribe button and smash that like button, whatever they call it nowadays. Anyway, I hope you had fun coming along for the ride, and I hope I gave you enough information that you can go check this out if it's something you want to do. And we'll see you in the next one. Have fun out there. Man, I have to say, just as a sort of an afterthought, what a difference it makes in your psyche when you have a chance to finally get out and hike. Back in the car, it was just a single day, just a one-day outing, not even a full day. It's only 2:15. So, man, definitely good for the soul, gotta say. Highly recommend it. Really makes me realize I need to get out and do this as often as I possibly can, even if it is just a one-day thing. You know, it took me 2.5 hours to drive here, so I'm gonna have 5 hours in the car, but worth every mile. So